Hello everyone. If you have been watching my video newsletters, then you know that it's been a while since I was able to get you on. But I am excited that I'm able to be here and I'm able to share with you all in which God has been doing. If this is the first time you are watching one of my video newsletters, let me just explain that the purpose of these are to share with my friends and my supporters all in which God is doing here within the ministry that I'm working in upstate New York. This ministry is Campus Ambassadors. It's a college-age ministry based out of Oneonta. Part of me wishes that I could have gotten you to one sooner, but I'm excited to say that the reason why I haven't been able to is I simply just have not had the time. We have been so busy with the planning and with everything that we've been involved in. That planning actually just came into fruition this last weekend as we had our CA retreat, our winter retreat that we have every year. And it was such a great time. And so hopefully in the future, hopefully maybe even next week, I want to be able to share with you on some of the beautiful changes and some of the incredible outcomes that God was able to accomplish on this retreat that we just went on, that we planned, called Treasure. There are two things that I'm looking to do this week. I'm looking to share with you just kind of where I am as far as what it's like to work in upstate New York, especially just in ministry, how it differs from anywhere else in the country. Second, I want to share with you just where I'm at with my support raising, where I am financially within the work in which God has put me. First, like I said, I just want to talk about upstate New York. Recently, there was a study done on a website called BibleGateway.com, and this is a really great tool that allows people to kind of go deeper within their Bible studies. It gives them different translations, and then it gives you a bunch of other material that will help you as you try to make your way through the Bible. But they did a study where they were able to deduct which cities in the United States are the most Bible-minded. They did this by seeing the percentage of people who log onto their website, and they were able to come up with this number also based on the populace of that area. Not only did they figure out which cities were on top, but they also figured out which ones were on the bottom. Which cities in the U.S. are the most resistant to God, the gospel, and the Bible. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put on the screen just a little bit of a map of New York. And here I just want to point out where Oneonta is. Oneonta is kind of right in between Binghamton and Albany. Okay? If you look between the two of them, there's actually an interstate called Interstate 88, and that connects the two. Well, Oneonta is it's just right about in the middle there, in between Binghamton and Albany. Now, this is where God has placed me. This is where He has placed me to share the gospel and to show college students what grace and love from God looks like within their lives. Okay, so let's just look at this study here, as I said, in BibleGateway.com. Providence, Rhode Island was number one, was the least Bible-minded city in the U.S. Now, if you see where Albany is on the map, Providence is about 160 miles southeast from it, roughly 2.5 hours away from Albany. And that puts it right about 4 hours away from Oneonta. The second city on the list, I just want to give you a second to guess. I mean, do you have any idea what would be the second city on this list? Would you be surprised if I told you it was Albany? The area of Albany, Schenectady, and Troy is the second least minded. Okay, how do I say this? I'm sorry. This is the second city within the country that is the most disinterested in the things of God. And that is just about an hour away from us, from where I'm living. It's just under 80 miles away from where I'm at. Second most disinterested city in the U.S. for God. Boston was number 3rd. San Francisco on the West Coast was 4th. Cedar Rapids was 5th. You want to know what the 6th one was? Buffalo. You can see on the map here that is on the far west side. It's about 4 hours away from Oneonta. New York State is a very big state. Hartford, Connecticut landed 7th. That's 3 hours east of Oneonta. A little bit closer than Providence, but right in that same direction. And New York City was 12th. I don't think it's a huge surprise there. And that was 3 hours southeast of Oneonta. Syracuse and Rochester ended up 15th and 18th on the list. Both, as you can see, are not too far away from Oneonta, New York. And New York does not have any other cities on this list. That means Rochester ended highest for the state. And that was 83rd on the full list of 100 on the full list of 100. That 100 being what are the top cities of God in the country. 83rd in the country. So Oneonta is surrounded by cities that are overall not interested in God. We are like at the epicenter of this. For years, pastor friends in this area have told me that there was like a dark cloud over the area of upstate New York. And seeing different ministries across the country that I've been able to interact with, I can comfortably say that ministry in upstate New York is just not sexy. And you can see it in the Midwest, and you can see it in the Bible Belt, and you can see it in the South. But in this area, it is difficult, it is hard, and there is a dark cloud over it. So when I think of my area having this dark cloud, I also think about the fact that America is in such a huge need in itself. We can see that on the news. We can see that all over the place, that there is such a need for God within this country. I think it's crazy that when we think about it, that Africa is actually sending missionaries to the U.S. to minister to us. It's insane. It's crazy. This is the country in which we live in. This is the area of the country in which I live in. And then I'm thinking about the fact that I work with college-age students. An age group that is so disinterested in the things of God. You know, where are the 20-somethings within our church? That's a question that I've heard all the time from different churches across the country. Where are the college-age students? Where are the young adults? They are not interested, is what it turns out. You know, and all these factors, when they come into mind, we can get discouraged and we can get upset. But I want to tell you that I am excited because God has placed me here in this area for a reason. Knowing my God and knowing the God that has wired me the way that I am wired, I get excited. He's made me this way. I get excited when I get next to somebody who is not interested in God, who has a hard heart towards God. Because when I can get next to him, I can be a part of that process in which God is so excited to do within their lives of softening their hearts and allowing them to be receptive to the things of God. That's what I get excited about, and that's the work in which I want to do. I'm in one of the countries in the most need of God, and I'm in one of the areas in the country that have the most need for God, and I'm working within the age group and the demographic that is in the most need of God. I have no doubt that this is where God wants me to be. The second thing I want to share is that with my support raising, if you don't know what that means when I say support raising, it's that everything that the way that I get paid for the work in which I do, it comes by support. And that support is from brothers and sisters who have decided, you know, Peter, I'm going to come alongside you financially, and I'm going to give you a certain amount each month towards the ministry in which you are working within. And that goes towards my overall goal. And that's obviously 100%, whatever that is, which is actually around $1,000 a month that I need to survive. And that survival goes towards my rent, my car loan, my insurance, my groceries, my gas, my ministry expenses, all those kinds of things. So, and in that, I have to say, I love my supporters. If you are watching this and you're my supporter, you are on my prayer list. And I'm praying and I'm for you guys, and I am thankful and for everything in which God is able to use you and supporting me. I do not go in any prayer session without thanking you guys. So I just want to say it again, thank you. But I do have exciting news for you on the support raising. This is what I was talking about before. I am past my 50% mark. I am halfway there. This is a huge mile marker for me. I feel like, honestly, like the Israelites crossing the Jordan, and I am halfway to the promised land. Now, I don't want you to get thinking that the promised land is money and finances for me. No, that's not the case at all. But what I do have to say is that there's something that when God brings you to something and directs you into something and you step into it, even when it's not easy, even when it's scary, and when you get to a place of even just halfway there, it brings you to a place of thankfulness and brings you to a place of worship. And right now I am picking up these rocks. I'm picking up the rocks that are around me within the Jordan, and I am looking at the other side of the river, and I can't wait to build that altar on the other side. So being 50%, that puts me at, I only need $500 a month to raise. $500. You know, I'm standing where I'm at in the Jordan. I can look over my shoulder, and I can see where God has brought me from. I can tell you, when I was on that shore, when I was on the other side, I had no idea how this was going to turn out. I had no idea where I was about to start with the funding of this ministry. I was scared. I had no idea where that first step was going to take. It was just scary to step into the Jordan. and now I can see back, and I can see where God has taken me from. That same amount of distance back is the same amount of distance forward, and so I know that there's still so much that needs to be done. And God would not bring me halfway across the Jordan if I wasn't supposed to get to the other side. So this is what I would ask of you. If you are a current supporter, can you share this video on your Facebook page? Can you subscribe to my YouTube channel? That way, any one of your friends can see this video and they will get to know who I am. They will get to know about Oneonta, New York. They will get to know about the college ministry that is Campus Ambassadors. And that would go a long way for me. And if you are not a current supporter, will you pray about getting me across this river? All I need at this point is 10 people. 10 people, 10 couples, 10 churches, whatever it is, to support me at $50 a month. Or 20 people who will support me at $25 a month. If you get me across this river, you will release me that I can be able to stop focusing on this fundraising stuff, stop focusing on this support raising stuff, because I do not like it one bit, honestly. I do take joy in it. I am thankful again, but with my supporters. But I'm more interested in getting invested within these students' lives, being able to be completely devoted to them, that I don't have to be hampered by these other things, that I can be with them and I can have Bible studies and I don't have to worry about paying my bills. So if you would help me get there, it would be so appreciative. I would love to have you on board. And what you will be doing is you will be funding a person whose sole goal is to minister to a people group who are disinterested in God in the hardest area in the country. I was interrupted, but I just wanted to thank you for watching the video. And if you have any questions or if you have any thoughts that you want to contact me, if you would like to be a part of my support team, then I just want to invite you to email me, get a hold of me. This way we can have a conversation. Let's have a talk. Put my email up here and you'll be able to get a hold of me. All right, guys, thank you again. Love you. God bless. Bye-bye.